there was only an 8-hour window from when they returned from rescuing a sick hiker to when they noticed that their items were gone. That's all it took for someone to come on this property, break into the trailer, and take their rescue gear. That's right, just a truly difficult morning for law enforcement here from across the state. This is what it looked like just a few minutes ago here. They set up a 30-bed field hospital where patients that have tested positive and don't need a ventilator will be taken from the hospital and brought out to the tents. I have to tell you, these have to be the worst conditions that I have seen so far. You might not be able to hear me with all of this wind, but we do have some snow coming down. Those temperatures, like you said, are very, very low, but the winds are the worst. I'm actually going to step out from in front of the camera so that maybe you can hear me a little better, and let me show you what we're seeing here. Now, this is what it looks like here in Boone. You can see the roads here. They are covered in snow. Now, keep in mind, this is a main road. Imagine if the main roads look like this, what those back roads look like. And that is just because of all of that wind. You can see just how strong that wind is here. We have seen plow trucks out all morning, and it's kind of hard to see at the moment, but they even have some people plowing the sidewalks here. Again, you may not be able to hear me that well because of the winds here. Now, the conditions again are brutal. We are seeing those winds blow. The temperatures are very, very low, and that's even making for some snow drifts. So you will see that at different spots, the snow is stronger than others. Now, again, I'm going to come back in front of the camera here. It may be a little hard to see me and hear me, but if anything, I would tell you, you should stay home this morning. The conditions are bad, the roads are bad, and it is painful to be outside. Now, we will be out here all morning and have the latest right here on Spectrum News. For now, live in Boone, Rose Eiklor, Spectrum News 1.
We're not broken.
Caleb Waters joined the Marines in 2008.
I can't say that it wasn't an enjoyable time in my life. It definitely shaped me into the person I am today.
He served for 8 years, went on 5 deployments, later becoming a combat instructor.
The Taliban kind of ramped up their attacks, and fighting got even heavier. Our battalion blew up like 86 trucks. I've been involved in 3 IED explosions myself, one directly in my truck.
Things that stuck with him. After his 2 daughters were born, he knew it was time for help.
I'm not the man I should be right now. I'm not the Marine that I was, and I'm not the dad that I could be.
Self-medicating with alcohol.
A lot of drinking, a lot of making bad decisions, wrecking Harleys, just chasing that high that you get from the adrenaline of combat.
He went to therapy, but it was never a long-term solution until one day when he had an idea.
Yeah, a horse can just listen, and they provide effective feedback without talking.
He reached out to a friend, Jennifer Bandy, with the nonprofit Walk With Me.
Hey, buddy, what are you doing?
His idea, to take her equine therapy for at-risk children and women and tailor it to veterans.
It's a good distraction from the actual therapy. You know, half the time you're sitting there doing work and it doesn't feel as much like work as sitting there talking to somebody on a couch. Good job.
It's what happens inside the arena.
Thank you. Pretty frustrating at first, actually. Finn spent a lot of time against the fence and eating grass and uninterested in it.
The vets and these horses build a bond. Then they go for a walk.
It's about building that relationship and that trust.
Good job.
Rhythmic brushing to help with breathing.
Are you a 3B? Are you a 4B? Are you a 5B? And we just kind of explore that.
All to make each veteran connect with a horse on a deeper level.
How is your heart feeling? Do you feel it in your shoulders? Any stress, any tension?
Sacrifices.
And they don't need to do it alone.
And successful stories.
Once you see it and experience it, you believe in it.
Through a different type of companionship.
You get to see kind of immediate results once you figure out how to build that bond with each other.
This was where my wife and I moved from.
Eric Miller and his wife moved to the mountains from Myrtle Beach last year.
We were really at Surfside, and we lived at a golf course. We lived here together in Blowing Rock right after college, and we always said we'd like to move back here one day. Here we go.
And that day came when Miller decided to retire from real estate after more than 20 years.
We've got a view of grandfather.
So this is where he plans to stay.
I am 64. I'll be 65 this year.
And Miller says he couldn't just slow down.
I work most hours of the day, I guess, like 6 hours a day.
Volunteering here on the Blue Ridge Parkway.
It's just one of the best places, in the country, and it's like this is our workplace, so that's what's nice.
He cleans overlooks.
4 days a week, I'm usually about anywhere from probably 15 to 30 hours a week.
Parks, campsites.
Get way off the trail. So it's kind of cool to be able to help maintain the trails I've run and hiked.
And now,
It becomes addicting for them just as it is for me.
he and a dozen other people with the group Volunteers in the Park are cutting back trees to reveal trails
To break it up so you can put it away.
that haven't been seen in decades.
This is what we call swamping. We carry these off the trail.
Making it easier for people to walk.
We've cut down a bunch of the trees that were laying on that wire further back. Right now I'm doing a lot of swamping.
The Tanawa Trail.
Probably have already done over 2 miles.
Now it's ready for cars and for hikers
This is like a pond at this stage.
who hopefully won't be walking through all this mud.
This stuff had been there for probably 40 years because I found old Pabst Blue Ribbon cans with the old triangular pop top thing. And I know they don't even make those anymore.
Which is why he says it's important for those living here to stay involved, protect the natural resources around them.
Tree fell on it right there.
And it's a job he doesn't plan to stop.
It's just a healthy exercise, and it's in the woods, it's in nature, and I just love it.
Timothy Kelly lives in his van
I've got my mattress and a little bed frame I built back here.
with only the absolute necessities inside.
So I'll go around like this, I'll find somewhere to park.
He enjoys staying somewhere near the woods,
Where there's a stream and mountains, and I love being in nature.
but admits that's not always possible, and parking lots are the next best thing. It's a place to call his own, he says,
It's a little Martin.
and inside his prized possession, a little Martin guitar.
A couple of major artists use, and I felt like it was right for me. When you have dreams, you got to sacrifice, and you got to work for it. And this is my sacrifice.
Sacrifices he's willing to make to get more instruments to play here. You can hear Kelly all the way down King Street. His electric fiddle is unmistakable.
I come from a big family that everybody plays instruments.
Timothy and his 4 brothers and sisters were homeschooled, and they learned how to play instruments in their country home after Timothy saw a man on television playing a violin and wanted to try. He says it was quiet where they lived, and there was nothing for them to do but play.
And I was just like, that's it. I told my mother, I was like, I want to play that.
The siblings got so good, they started a band and started touring the country.
Parents became more controlling, the situation became abusive, and it didn't make sense to live there anymore.
So he left home with nothing but $20 and started over.
Music is a gift from God, and it's our job to be good stewards of it, and He has provided for me since.
So he's giving it his all, living out of his car and playing every day to save enough money for a wooden violin.
Music is powerful because you have an audience's undivided attention, and it's so powerful because it can bring joy, tears, healing. I feel like music has changed people's lives. It's definitely changed mine. And I feel like it's a wonderful gift to be able to share, to be able to essentially give it back. I'm doing what I was meant to do, and the music is doing what it was meant to do. And honestly, that makes me really, really happy.
got more Scottish in me than the average Scot.
89-year-old Steve Kelly travels to Avery County from South Carolina every year.
About 91% Scottish.
Just for the Highland Games.
Since 1967.
He remembers his first trip like it was yesterday.
We were the first McRowdies.
A friend told him about the event, and he drove down from West Virginia to be part of the action.
And we made music all night, and I danced. I step danced a whole lot of it. My ankles got big around.
And that trip up to the mountains of North Carolina changed his life completely.
Right down there in the corner down there. Frank was playing the fiddle, playing Soldier's Joy, the old-timey fiddle tune, and there was this gal with a white streak in her hair, and she was step dancing to that. I said, that can't be all that bad.
That gal became his wife.
I think she's crazy putting up with me.
And the two are about to celebrate their 50th wedding anniversary.
It's a homecoming. This is the largest family reunion in the world. And it's, for a short period of time, it's my home.
Which is why he comes back every year.
It's a family. I've seen kids meet young ladies, marry, come back to the games, and eventually come back with their children. Isn't this beautiful?
He says the games haven't changed much.
One thing is solid that they can count on.
But have grown fast. Kelly says these Scottish games are now known to be the largest in the world.
And I'll catch a glimpse of what's going on every once in a while, but I'll stay busy. See if anybody needs anything.
Staying busy volunteering, something he does every year.
Because I love it. And I love the people. And if I can help, I'm going to help.
He knows everyone. And everyone knows him.
These are the symbols of my heritage. There's Grandfather Mountain at the top, and there's the galley of the west of Scotland.
Steve has left his mark on these Highland Games.
It's pretty special. There isn't anything else like it.
The memories he has there, the people he's met, and the stories he will never forget.
Look at that mountain. Isn't that something?